Hi everybody, and welcome to the 8th episode of the Mr.Prototype podcast, where we are going to talk about prototyping, making products, and much more.
Today, we're going to be talking about inspiration.
Finding ideas, because in all the other podcasts we talk about, with your idea you should do this or that, but we never talk about how to find it, so this is the day.
And it's perfectly fine if you just want to make something but don't have an idea what yet. It's perfectly normal to not know which idea to pick, because normally you don't only just have one idea.
You have a bunch. But maybe that's for another day, which
video.
one to decide. But we're going to give you 5 ways to find inspiration. We're going to start with the maybe most simple one, which we call the A+B products. For example, in the past we only used to have headphones, and we had a standalone microphone in our desk. Now I think almost nobody has that unless you're a podcaster, and even with that you will still use the headphones that come with a good microphone.
Yeah, typically headphones and microphones are now integrated, and you can also say that the ultimate example of that is a smartphone. Like, it's just everything integrated into one device. And you have a bunch of those. For example, you have coffee makers that have the cream machine integrated into it.
Yeah, you have a lot of...
You have microwaves that are also ovens. So if you can find 2 products that, well, people need both of them anyway.
And sometimes at the same time or for a similar use.
And if they combine well, you might have a product on your hands.
That's why we have coffee with milk, no? Nowadays, with the new technologies that we have, you can take this a step forward by saying that it's a product with technology.
Yep.
So many IoT products.
Yeah, that's basically the whole IoT sector. You take a smartphone and you combine it with a physical product, and you have IoT. Because you just add an app to something.
Like the heating at home, you can set it with your phone and suddenly something different, this smart heating.
And the thing is that the functionality of that device might be completely different. It might have nothing to do with the previous device, because you can do things because of that combination that you couldn't do before. That's the synergies that you want in an A+B product.
Yeah. Okay, the next one that we want to talk about is the service. Things that used to be a service that now they are a product.
I think the thing that is the most visual to people at the moment is the floor cleaning robots.
Yeah, we switched from needing to sweep the floor every weekend.
Or hiring somebody to come clean your house.
Now you just put the freaking robot and it's another pet, almost. Just walking around.
The Roombas, yeah. And there is a lot of things that these days is still done as a service, but that you could do with a product. And for example, a sector where that they are trying to do a lot of that is elderly care. Trying to be there, they track elderly to make sure that they're okay during the day.
Or even that they can live by themselves longer by having some extra help with their pills, which is one of the main concerns with elderly.
Yep. So there is still a lot of things that you can replace with a product that right now is a service. And sometimes the other way around works as well, but it's typically more towards luxury.
Yeah, maybe. And here we talk about products, no services, so doesn't make sense for us. This maybe is a short one, but it's also that because it's something that is really new that is starting to happen. Although all the dishwasher, laundries, a lot of the home appliances come from this.
In my opinion, it's been one of the driving factors of people having more time, because the more things you can let a machine do, the less you need to do.
Definitely, and we all like that.
Yeah.
Number 3, change the sector. Take something that works or that has been developed in one sector field and place it in another one. The serious example that I know of is the diapers. Actually, the material from which they are made, that is super absorbent and everything, was developed by the NASA. Or do you say it like that?
NASA.
By NASA, yeah. By NASA for people in space and those kind of things that then they decided to use for diapers.
Yeah, I mean, they had to pee their pants because on the early space capsules there wasn't...
and even now I will pee myself.
No, I mean, it's not that long of a ride. You can hold it. It's but yeah, the first missions that were long, the capsules didn't have anything, so they had to have a solution in the direction, and it was a high-tech solution, but they managed to make a process where it was not that expensive. It was very expensive for the space program to manufacture it, but it was adaptable to a process that was cheap to manufacture, and that is actually typically the way this works. You take something with a high technological content or something that is an extreme for one situation that you need, and then you use that same thing for another sector. And it can vary a lot, but typically it goes from high tech to low tech. And there's a lot of examples from the space industry. For example, the memory foam is another one that came from space.
Oh, didn't know that.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
There's a bunch.
I bet you also from military use.
Military gets translated into consumer products often as well. It doesn't necessarily have to be that specific though. You can
like the drones. Drones in part are used for military, but now they can also be used for better things like helping with fields.
In all honesty, the internet is one of those.
Oh,
the internet used to be only for military use, and then only for scientific use, and gradually it's trickled down to everywhere. But yeah, in general, there is a lot of things that if you have expertise from a certain sector, but you, for example, also have a hobby in another sector, and you say like, well, that could fit, then why not?
And talking about that, we go to the fourth, which is hobbies. Find the things that you love.
Yep.
Like make a list of the things that you love.
I mean, it doesn't have to be a hobby. It can also be just something that you enjoy doing. I'm not saying that wine drinking can't be a hobby, but...
No, but you can find something related to wine that you like,
but
or you can use
you don't have to call it a hobby, is what I mean. You can just like this.
Like something. So you just take that and do a typical brainstorming about it and think about things that are missing or ways to enjoy in different ways. Because
typically the products that will resonate the best with the market, and often that's more important than having a good idea per se, that it resonates with the market, are the ones that you're passionate about yourself. Because if you are the target audience, you know what the target audience wants. And you can make something for those people.
They call this kind of thinking scratching your own itch.
Yeah.
Like if there is something that you don't like, then change it for yourself and you will be happier and you can make other people happy as well with that.
And at least at the end of the road, you've made yourself already happy.
Yeah, you can use it. I mean, I always said it that even if Burnometer doesn't go that wow, I want one in my kitchen because we still have accidents at home. And I'm gonna keep that awkward silence. Okay. I mean, examples about it, I don't know. I guess most of the things are...
A lot of things. I actually think that maybe most products that don't come out of big businesses are like that.
I know. The luggage. The guy that put the wheels was actually a pilot, or I don't know if it was a pilot or a cabin member.
Yeah, somebody that traveled a lot.
Yeah, no, not travel a lot. He was in that business, and he made it for himself, and then he made it for the other people in his company, and it became a huge thing. Like now, a luggage without wheels feels crazy.
And that's also the thing. Typically, you will know all the people in that environment. So those are your first customers, and your first customers are really important.
Yeah, we already talked about it. So you have your first sales or your first testers sold, which is perfect.
Yep. Like I think there has been a bunch of fitness products that are, for example, like that.
Most likely, yeah. That you feel that you need something that
like
does...
It's difficult to come to the specifics now, but there is a lot of products that are just the work of love of somebody. I know, for example, in the music industry, in the classical music, there was a guy that was annoyed by the light for their scores. And they just made a little LED light with foldable arms, like the metal foldable arms, and started selling that. And he sold a lot.
And he made happy a lot of people like himself.
Yeah. I mean, it was not innovative enough, and because of that he got copied, of course, because it was not protectable, because it was not that innovative. But he still sold a lot, and he managed to build a brand and start making products in that direction.
Nice. And the last thing that we think is a good way to find your idea is finding complaints like that one. Like that one I have an example. The guy that invented one of the best scopes for ice cream was because he heard the lady that was scooping the ice cream that was hurting because it was hard. So he thought, hey, there must be another way.
Yep.
For that, we recommend you to go to web pages or forums about the specific topics, and you will see the fears or the complaints of people. Like, for example, in Reddit, when I was doing aquarium stuff, I saw that a lot of people worry about leaving their fishes alone.
Yep.
Yeah, we do the same. We are worried about the fishes, the dog, and the cat to be alone. So you have now plenty of products that are just a device for seeing your dog at home when he's alone.
And typically what you get there is that the problems that people face are highly specific. And if you want to launch a product, the more specific it is, the easier it is.
Yeah, we've said that for marketing, for solving the problem, for everything. But it's a cheating way that you can have that. You just say that, okay, every Saturday night I take a glass of wine or your favorite drink and explore the internet in a specific topic and find what is the biggest problem. And maybe, since you're seeing that problem from the outside, you might be able to solve it.
Yeah, and the best is if you combine some of these. For example, you could find a problem in another sector that because of your sector, you know how to solve.
Yeah.
Or you could find a problem in your hobby.
That is not only your problem, that everybody's also facing the
exactly.
same issue.
And that you can find some high technology for that you know how to solve. Whatever.
And then you make an app and you have everything in one.
Yeah. Or, yeah, other ways. But combining these things, usually where these crossroads is a good sign for your idea.
Or it's just fun.
Yeah.
So we hope you like. This is our 5 ways to find ideas, and we actually used it when we were brainstorming for something to work on, and Burnometer came out.
Yeah.
So, of course, you can apply the other 20 techniques that you can find online, like the brainstorming, focus groups, and all that jazz.
To me, that comes later. It's once you already have a vague idea in which direction you want to go. But yeah, it's very possible.
We feel like this was a little bit more our touch, our personal view, and you know that we like to give our...
Typically, products, in my opinion, unless they come from a business, like a lot of these brainstorming methods are for in a business, they're something highly personal. They're almost your baby. So the group way doesn't necessarily make sense for everybody. Sometimes you just want to find your idea.
Your baby. Yeah. And then you develop it.
Yep.
And that's the beginning of everything. And I think that's all for today, if I'm correct. If you have any questions or you want to send us any comments, just leave it in the comment sections if you are on YouTube, or let us know through the social networks.
And of course, if you have an idea that you want to talk about, feel free to contact us.
Yeah, you know that confidentiality goes first, no problem. And see you next time, because I don't know when will it be.
We'll try to do it regular.
Yeah, of course.